All right, we're gonna need something for our fruit to sit on for our fruit collage. So we're gonna start out with creating space in our paper. And to do that, we're going to create a base, which is like where the fruit's gonna stand, probably like a tablecloth, okay? So underneath your base, you're going to take a texture plate, put it underneath your paper, and we're gonna create some texture under there, just so we have some visual interest. They don't show up perfectly with oil pastels, but it still looks really nice, okay? Okay, how does it do that? It takes all the texture underneath, and when you rub it over, it makes contact with the oil pastel to the highest part of the texture plate. All right, number 2, you can have a second texture plate that you trade with somebody at the other side of the table, or you can use your oil pastels on the side. So to do that, you can go like this and just hold down the oil pastel to create some sort of pattern in the background.
Oh, that's pretty.
And I'm just using white, and then I'm going to go in with some red horizontally. So it's going to be horizontal when I move my paper. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to create like some sort of wallpaper. I'm going to overlap that red with a nice warm color of, it's like neon orange. And then I'm going to go back over with white to see what happens. So this is part of experimenting. And the reason why this helps our paper out is because this pattern is going to really be a great background for our fruit. While you're sitting at your tables, you might look at the fruit. I don't want you to touch it. You might look at the fruit and be inspired to create something. So I can show you kind of how my brain thinks. I have the colors that I need to create that fruit. Then I'm just going to use my pencil to draw out what I see. Okay? There's that part. I'm going to draw that part. I might have to make my black part a little bit smaller. And then my avocado pit. Okay? Now I'm going to take my scissors. Thank you for following along. I'm going to take my scissors. I'm going to cut this one out first because I feel like it's really important for me to see how big I need this to be when I am attaching the black part to it. And I'm going to go ahead and flip that over because I drew a line that I don't need anymore. When you're using your glue stick, make sure that you put your top in your table caddy so that you can find it later. I'm going to go ahead and glue this to my back paper. Okay. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to echo that green shape all the way around. Who's noticing that on the real life avocado I have 2 greens? It's a still life, it's plastic, but I think it's actually paper mache. If you want to add that green to it, you can always add with oil pastel to have a second coat all the way around to make it look more realistic if you want. And then you can go ahead and you can make your pit. I'm going to have to make my pit a little bit smaller than I anticipated. And I'm going to glue that. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I kind of started with that middle shape first, got my background shape, and then I have my front shape. And then once you have a few, what you can do is you can arrange them how you want them. Some of them you're going to be inspired by some of the fruits that I have on the tables. And then others I don't have on the table, so you're going to just kind of think about what it would look like. And you can add it to your masterpiece. One thing that makes a still life really interesting is to overlap some of your shapes. Okay? Overlap some of your shapes. Maybe you have one that's going off the paper. That could be really cool too. Don't forget to write your name and class code on your paper. And please, if you want to, when you're finished cutting everything out, if you want to use the oil pastels to make them even more pretty, please go ahead, because now that I'm looking at this, this one looks kind of boring. It doesn't have any texture to it, right?